The bridge of the Eternal Dominion hummed with the confidence of a species that had never known defeat. Commander Zekthor of the Cravathi Imperium stood before the viewport, his forearms crossed in satisfaction as he observed the small human research vessel, drifting in the asteroid field below. Pathetic, he hissed, his translator converting the clicks and whistles into standard galactic. The humans send their young to play among the rocks. They do not even arm their science ships. His tactical officer, a younger Cravathi with less experienced mandibles, shifted nervously. Commander, the Galactic Council has declared this sector neutral territory. The humans have committed no— Silence! Zekthor's voice cracked like a whip. The Cravathi do not answer to weak councils. We take what we wish. Charge weapons. Aboard the research vessel Curiosity's Edge, Susan Chen looked up from her spectral analysis console, her brown eyes widening as proximity alarms began screaming throughout the cramped bridge. At 26, she was the youngest xenogeologist ever assigned to deep space survey work, and nothing in her training had prepared her for this. Lucas, she shouted to the pilot. We've got a warship powering weapons. Lucas Rivera's hands flew across the navigation controls, his jaw tight. At 32, he'd served in the Merchant Marines before joining the Research Corps, and he recognized the sensor profile immediately. Cravathi destroyer. That's military-grade plasma arrays. He yanked the controls hard, sending the Curiosity's Edge into a desperate dive toward the asteroid cluster. Hold on! The first plasma bolt screamed past their starboard side, superheating the hull plating. The second struck their aft shield emitter and the ship bucked violently. Shields at 40%, Susan called out, her fingers dancing across the communications panel. I'm broadcasting our civilian status and distress signal on all frequencies. They don't care, Lucas growled, threading the ship between two tumbling asteroids. His face was pale but determined. The Cravathi have been testing Council resolve for months. I think they just decided to push. Another volley struck them and the lights flickered. Red emergency lighting bathed the bridge in crimson. Hull breach on deck 3. Susan's voice remained steady despite the fear coursing through her. Lucas, we can't take another hit like that. I know. Lucas pulled the ship into the shadow of a massive metallic asteroid, buying them precious seconds. His hands moved to the quantum entanglement communicator, the one piece of advanced military technology on their civilian vessel. But they just made the biggest mistake of their evolutionary history. He entered the emergency military channel and spoke clearly. This is research vessel Curiosity's Edge. Registry Hotel Uniform 773. We are under unprovoked attack by Cravathi forces in neutral territory. Civilian casualties imminent. Requesting immediate assistance. The response came within 3 seconds, impossibly fast across light years, thanks to quantum entanglement. Curiosity's Edge. This is UN's Righteous Fury. We have your location. Help is already here. Take evasive action for 30 seconds. Then get clear. Susan and Lucas exchanged confused glances. Already here? Susan whispered. On the Eternal Dominion, Zekthor laughed as his weapons locked onto the human vessel cowering behind the asteroid. They hide like prey animals. Fire at will. Reduce them to— His words died as every sensor on his bridge went insane. Commander! His tactical officer shrieked.
Massive contact.
Range. Range is impossible. It's practically on top of us. The stealth fields dropped. The UEN's Righteous Fury materialized like a vengeful god barely 5,000 kilometers away. Point-blank range in space combat. The human dreadnought was 4 times the size of the Eternal Dominion, its hull bristling with weapons that made Cravathi plasma arrays look like toys. But it was the railgun that captured everyone's attention. Mounted along the entire spine of the ship, the magnetic accelerator cannon stretched nearly a kilometer long. Capacitor banks across the hull glowed with building energy, and the air itself seemed to ionize around the weapon. Cravathi vessel, a human voice boomed across all frequencies. Cold and absolutely devoid of mercy, you have fired upon civilians under the protection of the Terran Federation. You have 30 seconds to power down all weapons and prepare to be boarded for War Crimes Tribunal. This is your only warning. Zekthor's mandibles clicked in panic. Impossible. How did they— They were already here, Commander. His tactical officer whispered, his own fear palpable. Waiting, watching, we never even saw them. For a moment, Zekthor's pride warred with his survival instinct. Then his predatory nature took over. the same instinct that made the Cravathi apex predators on their homeworld. They bluff. No species would start a war over one small ship.
All batteries, fire!
The Eternal Dominion unleashed everything it had. The righteous fury didn't even bother with evasive maneuvers. Point defense lasers vaporized incoming plasma bolts with contemptuous ease. Shields that could withstand stellar radiation didn't even flicker. 30 seconds elapsed, the human commander stated. Weapons free. The railgun fired. There was no dramatic beam of light, no colorful explosion. Just a solid tungsten carbide slug, 3 meters long and weighing 5 tons, accelerated to 0.03% the speed of light. It crossed the distance in 0.05 seconds. The Eternal Dominion simply ceased to exist. The kinetic impact released energy equivalent to a small nuclear weapon. The Cravathi destroyer didn't explode so much as it converted from a solid object into an expanding cloud of superheated plasma and debris. Aboard the Curiosity's edge, Susan and Lucas stared in stunned silence at the spot where their attacker had been. Curiosity's edge? The human commander's voice returned, now gentle. You are secure. Medical teams are standing by if you need assistance. Are there any casualties? Lucas found his voice first. No, sir. Shaken but intact. Understood. Repair drones are en route to patch your hull breach. You'll be escorted to the nearest station. A pause. And Lucas, Susan, I'm sorry you had to see that. But you need to understand something. Sir? Susan asked quietly. The galaxy has rules. The strong prey on the weak, territories shift, empires rise and fall. Most species accept this as natural law. The commander's voice hardened. But humans don't. We wrote different rules. And the most important one is this. You don't fire on civilians. You don't fire on scientists. You don't fire on the defenseless. Lucas nodded slowly, even though the commander couldn't see him. And if someone breaks that rule? Then the railgun fires, came the simple response. Every species gets one lesson. The Cravathi just got theirs. Word will spread. It always does. As repair drones swarmed over the Curiosity's edge and the massive dreadnought resumed its silent vigil over the sector, Susan looked at Lucas. Humanity, Foix, yeah? She said softly, using the old rallying cry. Lucas managed to shake and smile. Yeah, humanity, Foix, yeah. Behind them, the debris cloud that had been the Eternal Dominion continued its expansion. A tombstone written in cooling plasma. A warning to every predator in the galaxy that humanity protected its own. And the railgun waited, patient and ready, for the next lesson that needed teaching. ND.